Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Summer, and to all of you that keep coming back, hello and welcome back. Quick reminder, if you've never subscribed, just to remind you to click that red button there that says subscribe, and after that click the bell sign. That's where you get notification whenever I upload a new video. So in today's video I'm going to address few things. As a lot of you know, I made one video previously where I asked people to help donate to Maryam Shumate. There's so many things I want to address. I've received, because I made a video in which I asked people to help donate to Maryam Shumate because of the issues she's having. There are people that have come back to me and they have things to say. The video that I made had over 20,000 views, and I believe that a lot of people went from my video and they donated as well, and that is why some people are coming and leaving me this comment: oh, you made this video to ask for help, she's telling a lie, don't call somebody a liar until you are sure. Okay, before I say that, let me address something else. There are people that have said things like, oh, she called him my sweet man and all of those things. She called him my sweet man, she did too much, she did that, she did that. Now let me say this, something some of you forget. Maryam Shumate is an African. Okay, she's not just an African, yeah, she's a Nigerian. Okay, Nigerian culture teaches the women, really listen to what I'm trying to say. Nigerian culture teaches women to adore their husbands, basically worship their husbands. They believe that if a woman does all of this for her husband, she's going to keep her husband. They believe in, let me tell you, let me say this. I'm an African, so I can say this. Our culture teaches us, do this for your husband. Make sure you're a good cook, to be able to keep your husband. Make sure you're good in the bedroom. Make sure you're a good cook. Make sure you're this, make sure you're that. And believe it or not, I have never, in the whole 43 years of my existence, I have never heard, ever, in a Nigerian culture where they teach men what to do to keep their wives. Never. I've never heard. It's only women, how to keep your man, how to keep your man. She was being nothing but a typical Nigerian woman. I have to put this out there, okay? A typical Nigerian woman, because that is how we are brought up. You have to do whatever to keep your husband. You keep your husband. So let's get that out of the way. Comments people are making a lot is, she married a nobody, he had nothing, he had this, he had that. You see, where do you get the balance? If a woman marries a man that is stinkily rich, they be like, oh, she's a gold digger. And then a woman marries a man that doesn't have anything, you married too low. Like, this is one of those things. And you find that we as women, we come for each other so much. And these are comments from women, not from men. You hardly see men bashing each other the way we women bash each other. If a woman, let me tell you, you could marry a man that has nothing today. It doesn't mean he can't have tomorrow. So what are we trying to say? Any man that has nothing, has no money, is not human, does not deserve to have love? Is that what we are saying? So basically we're saying that men that are not rich, men that do not have a house, do not have this, do not have that, do not deserve to be loved. If you make a comment, think twice what your comment means. So I'm coming back to the main aspect of my video. People have been leaving comment here, oh, she's a this, she's a. And typically, what do you expect? That narrative, she's a Nigerian, Nigerians are fraud. This stereotypical way of looking at Nigerians, and then it's unfortunate when a fellow Nigerian then leaves a comment to support, these things, where promote this narrative that we know that all Nigerians do not commit fraud. That's that. Now, I'm going to address this comment about people are like, people are believing comment about whatever, the GoFundMe was a fraud, was a this, was a that. I try to ignore it. Yesterday somebody left a comment as well and saying you went and supported her, you were against fraud or something like that, but you went and supported her GoFundMe, she's a fraud, she's a this. Can I tell you guys something? Some people forget to realize. Anyway, it's easy for a lot of you to just write comments because a lot of you are anonymous. Nobody knows who you are, nobody can see your face or nothing. If you are a content creator like myself and I sit here, some people, I think, social media, to be honest with you, there's so much a lot of us have to learn about social media. You can't call somebody a fraud without proof. Okay, do you know what it is? I think someday somebody's going to be made a scapegoat where somebody's taken to court. The word a lot of people have to look up is the word slander and find out what it means. There are some things you cannot come out and say somebody is this and somebody is that. people don't, like, people are also leaving comments and saying, you know, she's not mentally okay, there is something wrong with her. I never knew that you can give diagnosis from just watching, you know, YouTube videos without actually doing assessment as a professional psychiatrist. It's easy for people to type a comment and say these things. She has mental illness, she is a fraud, and all of those things. Go and create a channel and say those things. If those that are saying she lied, she was never did her, she never ever said that her husband hit her, ever. Everything she's talked about is verbal. She said her husband's brother was angry because he was playing a game and he was loud, and he was swearing, and she told him to stop. He got mad, he came at her angrily, and he punched a hole in the wall. And that was what I said in my video. And I said, for me, violence or threat of violence is not a safe place to be. And that was the main part of the main reasons why I made my video. And I said she needs help to get out of there because it's gotten out of control. You know, she never said that her husband hit her. She even said when the brother-in-law tried to hit her, the husband actually told him to stop. If you go listen to her video, it's easy for people to leave comments and fabricate stories. You go and watch her video for yourself and hear from her yourself. It's easy. Somebody left me a comment and said, oh, somebody has exposed her. Have you seen the such and such that the pastor, her pastor exposed her, her best friend or whatever exposed her? I personally don't go by such things. Anybody can go in the comment section and type something and be like, I am her pastor, she is this. Anybody can do that. So be careful what you believe. Somebody have left a comment before and talked about me and said that I lied that I'm a nurse, and I'm actually not a nurse. And people believed it. Oh my goodness. And they say she's a care assistant. And I was like, and people came in my comment section, oh, you have been lying about being a nurse, you're not a nurse, you're a care assistant. And it's funny how people immediately believed it. And the person claimed that they know me in real life. The person that whatever left the comments said that they know me in real life, that I'm a nurse and that I'm just a care assistant, a nurse's aide. And people believed it. Somebody that knows her said, anybody that claims to know me in real life and does not know I'm a nurse does not know me. But people believed it. So be careful. Somebody said, if her pastor wants to come and to talk about her, let him make a video and talk about her. Let's hear him. You know what's sad, like it's really, really sad, is that fellow women, you know, typically that's what you see in the comment section, that fellow women can really come for each other like this. You know, you see a woman that is, forget about the fact that she comes and she, I'm strong, I'm this, I'm that. I'm not saying she's not strong. What I'm saying is she's at a very tough point in her life right now. Let me tell you, no matter even the strongest, when something like this happens, a marriage breakdown, it can mess with your head. It doesn't mean you're not strong, but in the process, you're trying to find out, what do I do next? It is a lot for the mind and the brain to take, no matter how strong you are. She can say, I'm strong, I'm this and that. Look at the weight loss. Look at the weight loss. What does the weight loss tell you? It's eating her up inside. She is going through a lot. She's going through a lot. What will you gain by kicking someone that's already down? What will you gain? You are the reason I donated. Nah, da 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 da. Let me say this. I said it in that video, and I said, let me tell you. Once you've done what your heart tells you to do, you see her story and you feel empathy, you know, towards her. Donate. Take your mind off it. Now, let me say this. Don't be too quick to regret helping her. Don't be too quick to do that. Why don't you be patient? It's not easy for a woman to get up. So people are just expecting her to just get up and go. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. So people are saying she should go to a shelter. She should go to this. Do you know? I don't know how it is in America, but if you ring up a shelter wherever, most of the time, I'm just going to say what I know. Most of the time, they prioritize women that have been physically hurt, women that have actually faced violence, or a lot of them, they prioritize such women before they would, you know, accept someone that is just, okay, my husband is saying this and that. That's what I know. Whatever you know, that as far as I know, that's that. And secondly, you have to be careful. She has to be careful. She's in a foreign country. No father, mother, brother, sister, nobody. Basically, she has no family in that country. She has to be careful, because if she becomes very unstable in her housing situation, she has made a video herself and she has said that the man, her husband, loves his children, he's good with his children and everything. She has to be careful, because it means her children are safe with him. Have you ever been to a shelter? Can you find out what a shelter looks like? Okay, what if you know, she has to be careful that she doesn't get to the point where it becomes, she is such unstable financially and otherwise, situation whereby the court says, okay, you can stay in the shelter, the children have to stay with their father. it's easy to type comments. It's very easy to type comments. Digest this information. At the end of the day, the children are not in danger in any way. So her marriage is broken down. She is the one. She said her husband, verbally, basically he has verbally, abused her from what she has said, but the children are safe with him. Then you ask yourself, the children living in a home with their grandfather and their uncle and their father, compared to the children living in a shelter. Something else I have to say that I've noticed from this whole thing is that she came across as there's so much she does not know, what is involved in getting a mortgage, and even when, let me tell you, when she asked for a co-signer, I knew it's a big thing to ask, but part of me felt like there's nothing God cannot do. That is how I felt about it. Nothing God cannot do. You never know who's watching her videos. They may be like, okay, I'll do it. What if somebody said, you know what, I have a house here, come and live in my house for free? So when people are coming, somebody like coming, they first comment, oh, can you imagine, she's asking for a co-signer. She is a fraud. I went there, I wanted to donate, but the moment she asked for a co-signer for a mortgage, that was when I knew she's a fraud. I'm like, what if somebody saw that video and say, come, I have a house you can live for free until you get yourself, sorted? What if? I knew it is a lot to ask. I've been in a situation where I wasn't even looking for a co-signer. I needed a loan to pay my school fees because I was going to university and I was struggling. Struggling to pay my school fees. I remember asking, not even a co-signer. I needed a loan to pay for my fees. I was looking for, a guarantor. I know how hard it was. Nobody was going to guarantee for me. Nobody. Not even the pastor of my church. Everybody have stories to tell. That is when you get to know who is actually your friend. Everybody claim to love you, claim to care, and which is when you are in a terrible situation, you find that who actually really cares about you. Because everybody's afraid, what if you don't pay? If you don't pay your school fees? Which was only like, I was actually at that point, I had some money. I was looking for like 6,000 loan from the bank. And because my account is a student account, I need somebody to be a guarantor. Nobody was going to do that for me. And something else I want to address before I forget. I really want to make some points. Another thing I have to say, because I say these things, when things like this happen, ask yourself, what are the lessons there for me to learn? Some of the lessons we have to learn is this. Whether you are a black woman, whatever, you are married to a man and you're in a foreign country married to a man of that country. When you are in a foreign country, sometimes you have to think twice about, there's nothing wrong with being a housewife or whatever, but be knowledgeable. Try to expose yourself so you can be aware of a lot of stuff. Clearly, like she was open in her video, you can see she did not even know what is required to get a mortgage. She did not even know what is required even to rent a house. Because some people think she has 10,000 in account. She got 10,000, donation for GoFundMe. It doesn't work that way because the agent is going to ask and say, okay, what's going to happen? In my video, I said it. And you see, anyways, I'm not going to go into all of that. I said in my video, I said, the 10,000 is good, but she needs to work hard because that 10,000 will not last forever. She needs to be ready for when that 10,000 runs out. Let me tell you, an agent that is doing their job properly, which is not being discriminatory, they are going to ask themselves, yes, she has 10,000, but what's going to happen when her 10,000 runs out? Can she pay it? And that is where they have a problem saying, her credit is not good enough. As saying, maybe her income may not be good enough or whatever. So they worry that when the 10,000 GoFundMe is over, finished, what will she do? Will she be able to pay her rent? Let me tell you, estate agents they're not doing a charity job. They are there to make sure they rent the house to people that are able to afford to pay the rent. So that's not even being discriminatory. But you can see, Maryam in her openness in her videos, you can actually see that she didn't know these things. So I'm just saying this aspect of this for any person that is abroad, whether you're married to a white man or even some Nigerian women that are, their husband come to Nigeria and pick up a village girl. It happens. A man that is very exposed and everything, and say, all the girls abroad are too exposed. Let me go to Nigeria and get myself a village girl, and they go and get themselves this pure village girl that knows nothing, and they bring her and keep her at home. It happens as well when the marriages end, that you find that these girls, you don't know where to go, nothing, because they came abroad, London, America, Australia, to be with their husband. They're not exposed at all. They have no exposure. The man is every single thing to them. They have no scent to their name, and when things like this happen, they find themselves in situations like this. That said, then coming back to the GoFundMe, so people are like, oh, let me say this, right? You donated towards Maryam, right? Okay, let me put it this way. Is Maryam a fraud? Is she not a fraud? Don't let that bother you. Let me tell you, in that video I said, if you see somebody in trouble, okay, and you feel like, oh my goodness, I want to help her, and you give to that person, it doesn't say a lot about the person you gave money to or you gave this help to. It says a lot about you. It says a lot about you and who you are. Whether the person is a fraud or not, that is not what your giving is about. Your giving is about the fact that you are a special kind of a human being, that you have empathy, sensitivity to the needs of others. It says a lot about who you are. Don't let anybody take that from you. If you donated to Maryam, let me tell you, you are a kind-hearted person. That is who you are. In a world where so many people do not give a damn about their next door neighbor, not to talk about somebody somewhere on the internet, and you had the heart to donate, you are a special kind of a human being. That is who you are. Your giving says nothing about Maryam. It says a lot about you. It's something you should take like a badge of honor. I am special. I am a special kind of a person. Take it as a badge of honor. Don't let anybody rip your honor off you. Don't let anybody, people with all the drama and telling she's a fraud, don't let them sway you about. You have done what your heart tells you to do. They comment like, oh, she's a liar, she told a lie, she told a lie. Please, what lie did she tell? What lie exactly did she tell? She wanted to relocate. She said emergency relocation because that's what she wanted to do, from what she said in her video. At the end of the day, she's not going to rent a house to herself. She's not going to give a mortgage to herself. If they don't give it to her, what is she going to do? What is she going to do? Is it for people to say, just jump out of the house and go where? She needs to be careful. She's in a foreign country. If she's not careful, she can end up losing her children because the father will be seen as the stable one while she's the unstable one. Why can't people, I personally, somebody said to my comment, another thing I want to address, somebody left a comment and said, what's that comment? Why are you praying for them why are you praying for their marriage and stuff like that? Let me tell you, there's nothing wrong in praying for people. Somebody, he doesn't love her, if he loved her once, what can stop him from loving her again? What is wrong in praying for people? Don't forget, I made a video asking people to help donate so she can move out. I never said she should stay in a terrible situation. I was the one. I made a video saying help her to raise money so she can move out. But it doesn't mean that they will not. If they reconcile, they will not be the first couple to reconcile. If the husband does not love her anymore right now, or she doesn't love him anymore, whatever the situation is, people can't change. A drug user or a prostitute or think of even criminals. If you can pray for them to change, why can't you pray for a couple to fall back in love again? If all of these people, you can pray for them and then they turn their lives around, completely 360 around. If they can't, why can't a couple fall back in love again? Something you guys have to realize. Maryam is in a foreign country. She has nobody there. At least Hunter, her husband, has his father and his brother. Maryam has nobody there in America. The fact that the husband no longer has respect for her, that both of them have lost respect for each other, she has no more respect for her husband, that their love is gone, or the husband has no more respect for her, it's going to be hard for his family to have respect for her. That is the fact. If he talks down at her and he talks to her this way, it will be really hard for anybody there to have respect for her when her husband doesn't have respect for her anymore. I don't understand how, when somebody is in such a terrible position, or is a terrible situation, how people would think it's a good time to come for her from left, right and center. I never understand that. There are people that have said, she shouldn't share this, she shouldn't share that. I understand where those people are coming from, because she needs to be careful what she shares. She really needs to be careful, because if they end up in court, some of these videos and all these things can work against her. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying she needs to be careful what she shares and, some of the things she says. I really feel that she should be careful. You donated, and at the end of the day, it happens to be she was not telling the truth, whatever. What have you really lost? What have you really lost? Some money. $20, $50, $100. Yeah, I don't believe anybody emptied their accounts to help Maryam. Really listen to what I'm trying to say. I do not believe so. People gave from whatever they can give. I personally do not believe that anybody gave an amount they cannot replace. I do not believe so. I believe that I believe that everybody gave an amount they can't replace. Some people, let's not make this mistake. I can say some people probably dug deep. They dug deep into their pockets to help. And it still goes back to the fact of what I was saying. It says a lot about who you are as a person, a special kind of a person. But no one sold their house to donate to Maryam. I do not believe anybody sold their car to donate to Maryam. Nobody donated any amount they cannot replace. You may have given from the little that you have. And like I said, it says a lot about who you are. You are a kind, generous person. This time of the uncertainty and the Rona thing going on and the things happening in the world, you were so kind enough to dig deep and help somebody at this time. You are a special breed of human being. Yes, you are. And you have to be proud of who you are, because people like you are rare in the world today. You know yourself. You know yourself. Tap yourself on the shoulder. Be proud of who you are. Don't let anybody take that from you. Don't let anybody ruin that for you. So basically, my point is this. If at the end of the day, Maryam is a fraud, what have you lost? What have you lost? Some money. That's it. Ask yourself this. Are you not better off helping somebody and gaining that satisfaction, knowing that you've done what your heart tells you to do, knowing that you have done your best to try to help somebody, and then let it, and whatever happens, or would you rather not help? And then few weeks down the road, few months down the road, you find out that that person was actually telling the truth. That person was actually telling the truth. Weigh these things. If she ends up in a shelter or whatever, when their father, like she said, is good with his children, is there available with a house, a stable house, and she lives in a shelter, if she ends up in court, this, as far as I know, a lot of judges would favor the children living with their father because it's a stable environment for the children. People forget that you have to separate the child from the parent. The child's life is an individual life. The judge, you have to ask, what's the best for Maryam? Shelter is good for you, that's fine, you're safe, you're far away from the verbal abuse or whatever. But what is safe for the children is a stable home, not a shelter. People don't take a minute and think about these things. If a husband was this kind of man that comes home drunk, beats the wife and beats the children and all of those things, he was violent against the wife and the children and everything, then being with Hunter is not the best option. Weigh these things before you leave your comment. I always say these things when I make my videos. When things are happening, don't focus too much on the drama. Ask yourself, what can I take out of this? What can I learn from this experience? Learn a lot from this experience. Another area I really need to touch on, and I think a lot of people should learn from, is this. I think Maryam should be careful. When she says some things online, she have to consider the fact that a lot of the courts these days, YouTube video can be played in court, text messages, WhatsApp messages, all of these things can be used in court. Be careful what you do. Seek legal advice to know what you can share, cannot share on YouTube. Do not allow, be careful what you say that may not jeopardize your chances with being able to have your children with you. That is very important. Now that's that. Something else I want to say, I want to share it here because I want people to contribute as well. When it comes to the children, she's already said that Hunter, the husband, is amazing with the children. I would say, it's only a suggestion, and anybody watching, feel free to contribute. I would say that the best thing for her is not to go for 100% custody. I don't know how it is in America, but I'll tell you why I say this. Why I personally think that she shouldn't take these children 100%, because the children are very young. They are very young. If she should have these children 100%, if she's planning to maybe go back to school or get a job or try to do a lot with her life, it's not very easy with very young children. Thank God their father is amazing with them. Share these children with them so that you can do whatever part-time and he can have them part-time, because that's what happens. A lot of women, when they have small children, if your children are older, it's different. Those children are very young, like 4-year-old, 2-year-olds, they are very young. A lot of women are very quick to grab the children and keep to themselves, but some of the time that is why you find that the women end up being the ones to struggle. The man goes and is living like a single, like the man goes away and he's living like a bachelor, he's living like a single guy, he has all this freedom, and then the woman is stuck with the children because they're so small. She may not be able to go to work because of childminding will cost a lot. Going to school is not going to be easy. I don't know, this is only a suggestion. I think children very little children can be so hard to manage if you're trying to pursue a career or pursue any kind of whatever. So it's amazing that the father is amazing with them. Share these children with them so that he too can get 50% of the hassle and the stress of looking after children and work as well, and then you too will be able to do something with your life, and that way the children can have if I can say, the best of both worlds. If he couldn't look after children, if he has any kind of a reason why he cannot really look after children, then that's a different story, because he's not capable. But he is capable, he is fit, he has no disability, he has nothing wrong with him, he can look after children, and you've already said he's amazing with the children. Consider that. I'm just saying this for anybody that comes across this video, to consider all of that as well. Just think twice about the idea, you know, of having these children too much on your side, because it can be tough to be able to, you know, look after children and try to pursue a career or pursue, you know, something for yourself. You know, so I think she thought the same as well. And some of you, I think a lot of the people commenting thought the same thing as well. They thought if she just get this $10,000, she's just gonna boom, go get a house. No, the only way, let me tell you, I was thinking maybe it's different in America, but clearly from what she's been saying, it's not that straightforward. They need to see that you have good income to be able to sustain. Even if you go and say, I did GoFundMe and people raised money, the first thing the agent is going to say, she actually needed a fund, she actually needed GoFundMe to have this money. Do you know what I mean? Even if she doesn't say it, because even some estate agents actually will ask you for your bank statement. They do, and they will look at it and see how much is coming in and how much is going out. They'll be like, you can't afford it. Even if you say, I have this big chunk from GoFundMe, that would actually put them off some more, because 10,000 from GoFundMe, okay, what's going to happen after your 10,000 is over? I mentioned that in my video, but not everybody understands what I'm saying. And there's something else, is they're going to be like, so she doesn't even have money, she had to go to GoFundMe to get money. So basically saying to them that she can't afford it. Something, or else as if she won the lottery and she just came and be like, oh, I just won this $1 million lottery, 500,000 lottery. Then they can be like, oh, that's a lot of money, she's gonna have money for a long time. 10,000, I'm telling you the truth, people were thinking, oh, she's just gonna boom, 10,000 is gonna, and then I think that's what she thought as well. That's why people now think she's a fraud, because I do not think she did her research before she started this whole journey. She thought, from what you're saying, you see that she thought that will be able to just, you know, but she realized it wasn't that straightforward. I personally believe that, you know, Maryam should say less and do more. Say less, do more. Her lovers are watching, but her haters are watching as well. They don't need to know your next move. They don't need to know what you want to do. But no, try to keep some to yourself. Sometimes you'll be shocked at people that you thought were your friends and they realize they never liked you. I can tell you that. A lot of the time, people you thought that if I got in trouble, I can call on that person's going to run to my aid, or that person sees me in trouble, and there's something happens, those people they act as if they never even knew you. That is life for you. That is life for you. So I personally believe that you should say less and do more. Just focus on what you're doing. Don't say too much, because your haters are listening as well. I'm saying it again, right? I share a lot of my personal story, but if you look at my stories that I share, they are old stories. You know, so be careful about sharing your current life situation. Stay calm, okay? Stay calm. You know, America is not Niger. It's not Niger. Be careful, because some of these people. Be careful, because some people are already pushing this narrative of, oh, she's not okay in the head. Be careful, because I'm just worried about when it goes to court. Be careful. I can tell you that if I was in her position, I could be everywhere, because it can mess you up in the head. But the advantage I have, a lot of us have, is that we are not the one in that position. So we can think clearly. And that is why when we speak, we're speaking from the advantage of being not being the ones in that position. And we can speak to her clearly. Right now, her judgment may be clouded, and she's here and there and everything. And it's not a good place to be. The weight loss should tell you everything you need to know. That is a lot of weight loss. So I really wanted to come here and address this, and I really want to say, you know, those people that are saying she's this, give her a break. Let's watch and see what happens next. So there's no point in being ahead of yourself. Give her time. She said she's put her name down, she's not getting this, she's not getting, give her time. And a lot of I pray God, I've never, like, you know what it is to wish for somebody to do well. I really wish this girl does well, because I want those haters to look back and swallow their words. I so much want her to do well, and I'm praying that God will open doors, because I know what it is to be in a tough situation. This life, there are a lot of people that I believe she thought would have come to her aid when this, you know, would have run to help her in one way or the other. And right now, those people are seeing and they are hearing everything going on, and they're just sitting back and watching. That's the one thing about life. Some of the people you thought would run to your aid, when it happens, they are the ones that you'll be shocked that they are the ones that wouldn't even give it down. Look at all the people that donated. Look at all the people that donated. We live in a world where people have no hesitation to kick someone that's already down. No hesitation at all. You know, some people left comment like, oh, it's not the being on YouTube that broke their marriage. She said it in her video that a lot of the comments were getting into her husband's head. She said it in her own videos, and she said it that, you know, some of the negative things they say, he's not working, he's not this and all of that, were really getting to him. And he was going to whatever website she said he was going to and reading all these comments. She said it in her videos. And then I make my video and I talk about the fact that putting your marriage online is not something I would advise. And like I said, I can share my stories that are past or whatever. And when I say don't share your family on YouTube, you know, you ask yourself, am I telling you something that I am not doing? I don't have my family on YouTube. If I was telling you that I'm showing my family is a different, I am saying things that I am practicing. Oh, she married a man that has no money. But at the same time, you know, this is the thing. And you never hear people address men like this. A man can decide to marry a rich woman, a poor woman, a tall woman, a short woman. Nobody ever says, why did he marry a short woman? Why did he? But if a woman marries a man that is short, she married down. So she couldn't find a husband, she married a man that is short. If she marries a poor man, so she was so desperate she had to marry a poor man. She married a rich man, she's a gold digger. Women never win. Women never win. But men are never criticized like that. I know, let me tell you, I know somebody in my family that fell in love and wanted to marry this man, and everybody said, what? You can't marry the man has no money. How can you marry ordinary? The girl went ahead and married him. Many years later, till date, the husband is one of the richest in the family. One of the richest. She married him as an ordinary man, but today he's a stinkily rich man. So what are we saying? Is it because, you know, this situation is because it's the way it worked out? If it had worked out perfectly and both of them became successful, who would be saying she married a man that has no money? You know, I don't think we have to ask ourselves, there's a problem in the marriage, that is true. But let's not bring this, you know, this criteria for love. Of what is love? Or if you fall in love with a man, you'll be like, no, I love him, but he has no money, I'm not going to marry him. It is still we women that will come and say, she refused to marry him because he has no money. Women never win. Never win. You know, so anyways, I wanted to come here and address some of these points. She's going through a lot right now. Give her time to, do you know what it is for your man? Do you know what it is for a man to tell a woman he wants to divorce her? I've never been in that position, so I don't know, you know, what is it for a man to actually tell you he wants to divorce you, he doesn't love you anymore. Do you know what? I can't even imagine what that has never happened to me, but I can imagine that would be devastating. It will be devastating. But I know, like I said already, I'm strong, I'm this and that. Leave that. You've seen videos where she cried. You've seen the weight loss. She is psyching herself to remain strong. I'm not saying she's not strong. No matter how strong you are, you're a human at the end of the day. And you can see it. She's going through a lot right now. And I'm praying. I'm seriously praying. You know what it is sometimes? You can actually just begin to wish somebody to do well. You know that kind of a feeling? I so wish her to do well. And because when you see the amount of hate she's getting, it actually makes me want to pray, you know, makes me pray more for her to do well. And I know it's such a terrible place to be, and I put myself in her shoes. One thing I have to say, she was matured enough to come out and say, my husband never hits me. Is only verbal. My husband is amazing with his children. He did not allow any rumor to be spreading about her husband, like, oh, maybe he hit her. She came out and made it clear, he didn't hit me. Do you know what I'm trying to say? When the rumor was that, oh, the husband is this, that, she came out and clarified and said, he never hit me. And I respect her for that, because she's not going to, no matter what's going on between them, she's not in any way trying to allow the rumor of lies against the man to flow. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It says a lot about her as well. Oh, he's amazing with his children. She got that out of the way, you know. So I wanted to come here and share. I said, give her time. Please, guys. She's going through a lot. Let's give her time. Before you call her a fraud, wait and see what she does. You know, wish her all the best. Pray for her. She is not in a good place at the moment. She is not in a good place. And I just thought I should come and address it. I plan, to be honest with you, I do not plan to make any more videos about this. And hopefully, it's my last video about this subject. Give them a break. If you want to pray for them, pray for them. If they end up reconciling, hallelujah. If they don't, all I'm saying is give her a break, give her time to find her footing. I think that's all I want to say in this video. And I most importantly want to say thank you to everyone that watched my video and went over to help, donated. All of you that have prayed for her, left her words of advice or whatever. God bless you. Thank you all so much. And like I said, You're giving at a time like this when there's so much uncertainty in the world. You had enough empathy to donate at a time like this with all the things happening in the world. Says a lot about you. You're a special breed of human being. And with that, I'm just gonna say thank you for watching. Until the next time, guys. Bye. Bye.
My name is Shumate.